with that, we'll go ahead and follow along our agenda. Council, got your package. I would ask if there are any adjustments to tonight's agenda. Hearing none, we will follow along the agenda.
Oh, yes, I do have an adjustment to tonight's agenda. I would like to add the closed session for 143-318.11A7, continuing from our last closed session that we were unable to hear the information.
For that. Council, if you will agree to that adjustment, I'll ask for a motion to approve our agenda with the addition of the closed session. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you. We will now follow along our agenda. First item is general business. Discussion of the tree lighting for ESC Park. Justin, nobody's spoken with you yet about it. I'll turn it over to Ms. Emily. All right.
Thank you. So tonight, just looking for a formal vote. We've talked about this at length, just need a formal vote to move forward in council. The last discussion we had, the last rendering we had, no upfits or changes from that, other than removing the entertainment lighting that we had talked about at the amphitheater. Since we'll be moving that, that's the only change, so just need a formal vote to move forward.
Any questions on the lighting?
What about the financing option? Did we,
Last I heard from the previous manager was we were not going to go that route.
we had several options, but I don't have that in front of me. I'm sorry I can't. But we had several options we could look at. Was it different lengths of time,
Right.
and so forth. And I'm trying to remember what we finally decided on there.
We were going to fund it, and then it was going to be a part of our recoup that we got from the LGC. We were going to be reimbursed from the LGC.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah. Okay.
So in order to provide that paperwork, just need the formal vote from
Yep.
you all tonight.
Yep.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, no. But this includes, I'm trying to remember, I know that we had suggested some changes along the parking
Yes.
and the amphitheater area, as far as path lighting, all of that is,
Yep, and then the last suggestion you made of adding the playground zone, that one was added too.
okay.
Yep, so that zone was added. Dina came down and we walked that off. And she sent a rendering. I probably should have brought that with me tonight, but it just added one pole up on the hill that covered the whole playground. So removed the entertainment lighting, added that zone you suggested. We have all the path lit. But this is just the formal vote we need to go through with the LGC reimbursement.
One other question came to mind. She had mentioned something about being able to change the colors of some of the lighting. I think up behind or near the shelter.
Yes.
Is that going to still be? I could not remember the final determination on that. She had mentioned that in her little talk that she gave to us several months ago.
That was for the entertainment lighting, if we were to light the amphitheater.
Amphitheater, okay, so
But since
that's
we're not
fine.
doing that at this time, she removed that.
Anything else from council?
I didn't need worded.
Just need a motion.
Motion to approve the
Funding?
set
Make a motion to approve the funding for the park lighting as presented.
Is there a second?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, motion passes. Look forward to having it lighted.
Yes, thank you, thank you. And I will keep you all posted on the timeframe, on where we are with it all and how it's affecting operations, so.
Very good. Yeah.
He'd like what?
A poll with his name on it.
You got it. Jerry, we got you. You got it.
gone but not forgotten.
All right. Next item on the agenda is the overview of our council upcoming December 11th regular meeting agenda items. Usually we turn it over to Mr. Longino. You want to take us through it, or you want me to?
You don't mind, sir.
I will-
Whichever has to have it.
We'll keep that in mind going forward.
Mr. Mayor, I think we forgot where you asked us, and we kind of go around.
I did,
Council
I did.
comments.
Okay.
Would you like,
Start?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
that would be awesome.
I'd be more than happy, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah.
I'll start on the great stuff and the good stuff, and then I'll kind of go downhill real fast.
Why not start downhill and work your way
There you go.
I'd rather start happy and end up sad.
Leave us in a good mood.
On a happy note and a great note, I would like to thank Emily and Chuck Gallion and our entire staff, especially Alexa for giving us a good, safe ride for the parade. It was great to see all the citizens. They seemed to come out and really enjoy it. And again, Emily, Chuck Gallion, our entire staff, everyone that contributed to make that parade a success is much appreciated. The Christmas tree lighting, again, the same people, great job. It makes this town what this town is. We come together and the people really seem to enjoy it. So that was my good and that was my great, and then I'll go with not my happy. I'd like to ask Jason a quick question, and it's not nothing wrong with Jason. I was wondering if he was able to look at that email that I sent him about the Prestige and the Barium Seasons Village people with their encroachment. I probably sent it last meeting. Mr. Mayor, I know technology-wise I'm not the greatest, but I remember you helped me send it. I think it was a text, I wouldn't say an email. Am I correct, Mr. Mayor?
I think that's probably right.
I'll go on to my next thing, until Jason can find that. The horse show that we recently had here at the Iredell County Fairgrounds. I'm not gonna say it was better. Thank God, our police chief and our police officers, we kept horses off the greenway. We kept them riding, we kept the horses in where they're supposed to be. So that was a plus thing. The negative thing is they don't have adequate parking. I don't care, no one can tell me abandoning your trailer, abandoning your car on the side of the road is adequate, okay? It would be like myself or any one of you in this room going to an event and you can't find parking and you just abandon your car. It shouldn't happen. So till I see that they're scheduled to come back, okay, not approved, but scheduled for March 27th, 28th, and maybe a couple days prior to that. So these horses, and I did a little investigation, these horses sell for thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars at their auction. Thousands, okay? There's nothing going for 900 or 1,000. 50,000, 40,000, 20,000, you name it. So I think they have enough money to provide adequate parking, okay? Where these people that put this horse show on then should make arrangements with cats, they should make arrangements with Oswald, they should make arrangements with off-site parking and shuttle buses. And until they can find, okay, adequate parking instead of abandoning vehicles on 21, okay, I do not, and this is my own opinion, and I will bring it up to council when the permit comes, that unless they can provide it, we should not approve their permit. As Bubba Gump would say, that's what I got to say about that. Okay, if you you could just check that out, please, within the next couple of weeks, maybe after the holidays, please get back to me on their concerns and what we could do to help that situation up there with Prestige and back, well, not help Prestige, but help the residents of Barham Seasons with their problem with what the encroachment, what they did. Okay, thank you, sir.
Chief, give us a flavor of what you all experienced during the.
It's pretty much the same thing that, normally does. They, we did tape off areas where there are no parking signs, so it falls under the ordinance. But, they, the visitors, they have no parking within the fairgrounds parking lot. They're being turned away there, due to lack of space, so they're finding, a place on the side of the road where they can pull off. I wasn't told by the officers that there were any calls about cars that were actually in the roadway, but they are parking on all, side streets. They were down Barham Lane, parking on the side of the road there. They're parking, I do not know if Cat's open up for them, but their vehicles parked maybe on the grass area at Cat's. I know that for sure, because that was a location where some cars were broken into. So, there is a parking issue with the porch option. We could, when they submit the permit request, goes first to Parks and Rec, then to us, we can tell them, before they can get the permit, that they're gonna have to make arrangements and show us arrangements for, additional off-site parking.
Is that something we could work with the county on, just starting now, to say, hey, this is an issue, we need you to reach out to whoever's kind of leading that group to basically say, what's your parking plan?
We also have contacts with the gentleman that runs it, I believe, don't we?
Yeah.
And we could talk to him ahead of time.
Okay.
So, I said, we need you to do this. If you're wanting to attend the event, you need to get adequate parking and have staff there to direct people to those areas.
And I would go so far as to even say, hey, what's your parking plan, right? And so, most events have somewhat of a plan, I don't know if they submit that to.
Send to the county and to us.
Okay.
How do we, with
Well,
including private and off-site, how do we enforce that? How does that work? That may be a dumb question.
If they would have to, I believe, when they would submit their permit, show that they have agreements with, the specific businesses.
And then we get a copy of that agreement?
Yes.
And it goes in with the packet?
Yeah.
To approve the
Know
permit.
that they have parking and that they are going to staff and ensure you direct those places.
Right.
And then we need to be in touch with those private properties to make sure that we're all on the same page and just to verify.
I would suggest the county be included, not only in the long-term plan, but short-term as well. I'm not sure, their response has been lukewarm at best, and disappointed in that, but I think they need to be brought in, because especially if we're talking a long-term plan, which we definitely need, as well as a short-term. The county is their fairgrounds, their property. Yes, we can zone for certain ways of how that property is used, but they need to be involved and have the weight of the county as well as the town on the event operators, that this is what we need. Because anything really the fair as well, you can see that same type of situation, not to the degree we see it with the horse show, but people parking in places where they shouldn't be. And I hate to see, when you start talking about parking on grass, it only takes one good rain before, even several days before, where you start having a muddy mess. So I can't see that as any kind of really a solution unless it's been very dry, continue to be dry during the event. And that's an iffy thing at best. But again, I definitely would suggest we alert the county. Even if they will take it under advisement or something, they are aware of it, very least. And we do what we have to do on this end. But for long term, they definitely need to be involved.
And I think Emily can work with, tax person, right, because they have to go through a dual permitting system. That the county's approval and then the town's approval on top of that.
Mr. Mayor, too, I can't speak for the Iredell Statesville school system, okay? But to me, okay, again, common sense would be maybe to contact the Iredell Statesville school system, make a nice donation, because horse show is making a lot of money for themselves. Making a nice donation to the Iredell Statesville school system for cats, and let them park off-site and shuttle bus the people in. Because it's a Dixie Classic Horse Show, and on their Facebook, you could see the amount of money that these horses are selling for at this auction. So, a small donation for proper parking off-site, I mean, it just makes sense. I mean, instead of our residents and our citizens being burdened with just abandoning your vehicle.
We're
Thank
getting
you.
hours out of town, but was the parking restricted on site, or was it just that big of a turnout?
It's just that big of a turnout. And then you got, especially when you're bringing, trucks and horse trailers, because they're, bringing horses to sell and buy. It does, you're taking for one vehicle up with 2 or 3 parking spaces. So it does limit what parking they have in the backfield and in the front.
I will say this, ironically, Eddie mentioned about the horses on possibly one of them, one place being a walkway. Going north to Statesville, while that event was going on one afternoon, just about in front of the collision center on the other side of the road, there was a car, smaller car, thank goodness, using that as a path to get behind the cars, and I guess looking for a parking place. I thought about stopping and calling, but I figured by the time I did have my cell phone with me, by the time I got to one, it had already been gone. But that's the sort of thing that's going on up there. They're
Yeah.
not only horses, but vehicles
Oh, yeah.
themselves.
All right, thank you. Ed.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Reiterate a lot of what Eddie said, and just to, honor to the town employees and all that they've done in this season to prepare us for the Christmas season, the tree lighting, the parade, and all the other events, and the cleanup, fall cleanup. Town looks really good. And also, I'm gonna just follow up on some committees that I had brought up a couple months ago, and also requesting another committee, a policies review committee, to go through some of our town policies and maybe update and or remove some policies that are no longer necessary. The land use committee that I had requested a couple months ago, we were waiting to confirm the land use plan and I think the RFQ or RFP to come back. And then the Parks and Rec committee that was also requested back then to look into our future plans as we move into this ESC building and the other 45 acres that will expand the park here in town, and maybe any future park locations. As last meeting, we had a citizen from the Weathers Creek area come in and provide a lot of information and a survey and community outpouring for a park maybe over in that area where it seems to be that about half of Troutman's population lives on the other side of 77, and they don't have any amenities provided by the town over that way that I'm aware of. And I'd like to, in that committee, I think they would pursue any expansion over that way from our Parks and Rec. And then to follow up on something that Eddie was asking about with the encroachment on the setbacks or easements, however basically the non-disturb zone over there behind Barium Seasons. I also had reached out to attorney last Wednesday to discuss any action that we may be able to take or what our options are to remediate those concerns from the residents as they continue to request something be done or something investigated to see what their stance is or what the town can do to remediate the fact that they have egregiously violated the contract that they set forth with the town.
And I will continue to depend on our attorney in terms of how we move forward with that. And we can discuss the committees. Again, these are all ad hoc committees. I think at some point we'll put together maybe a plan in terms of how some of these ad hoc committees will work, whether it's a time frame or a particular task. Will we institute those committees, but we'll continue to keep those in mind.
to Patriots, kudos to what they've said so far, agree, and I'll simply add that my own personal welcome to Justin and to our two new members of the staff. Welcome, and glad y'all are with us, and look forward to you being with us for a long time. Hope you enjoy the community and being a part of us. Thank you very much, and welcome back. Seeing you Saturday was just almost brought back old times. Old times. So glad to have you. Glad to have you. Looking forward to, even though I won't be sitting up here, I'm looking forward to seeing you and talking to you now and then. So as far as the parade, it was a wonderful event. Got along great. John McLaughlin did a good job of driving me. I'm here, I'm alive, I'm well, in one piece. I thank him for that. Seemed like the crowd was enjoying it as I went along. A lot of smiling, a lot of kids, a lot of dogs too, I tell you. A lot of dogs. Almost many dogs were children in some places that enjoyed it. They were all well behaved. Enjoyed having them. A lot of good looking dogs. Committee wise, that's good suggestion. Cover some of these things that perhaps have been around for a long time that some may still be viable and some not, and it's good to look at things. It's like our UDO, look at every 5 to 10 years, so look at some other things every so many years and bring them up to date. And I just read an article today about the Supreme Court taking up a case, and they were talking about a case they're taking up that Preston was settled back in 1935, but it's now outdated, and they may be doing something different now, 70 or much more, 80, 90 years ago. And same thing with anything else. Things need updating, outgrow their usefulness. And I'm glad to hear that the council will continue to look into that and take care of it. I'm thinking, I think that is it, Mr. Mayor. I'll pass it on.
Ms. Harris?
Welcome, Justin, welcome back. Welcome, Gina, and welcome, Isabel. Welcome to Troutman, glad to have you. I hope you enjoyed it. Justin, did you any problems last night? Welcome to the town, I'm sure you won't be any problems. Welcome to George and Tanya in the back. Good to see you all, and looking forward to working with you all in the future. So 3 fun things and 1 serious thing. Tree lighting was so fun. I told somebody on Facebook it felt like a Hallmark movie, our town, and I know we're getting big and we're expanding, but the love of our town is still there. And you can tell, you can feel it when you see people in that type of environment. So I'm a homeless sheep, but I really enjoyed that event. Parade, I heard several people saying that was the best parade ever. So hats off to you and Chuck. Chuck was like 3 minutes. Let's go. Chuck does not play about that.
He does not play.
So thank you all for everything that you did. I think we had 90 entries, and Mooresville had 99. So I was like, okay, so we're almost as big as the Mooresville parade. But hats off to all of y'all for your hard work, and to Brianna, we sang the whole time, so we had a great time. So I want her to be my driver any day. I didn't know the words of all the songs, so we just made up songs.
Make 'em up.
Nobody knew. But anyway, it was great, so thank you all for everything. I was so glad to see that the elf was back out, and everybody's just been all smiles, adults and kids alike. So thank you to whoever's doing that. And my serious moment is, I'm not gonna put you on the spot, Alexa. I wasn't gonna put Andrew on the spot, but I wanted to, for the next agenda briefing, to get an update on Tally Street, where we are on that. Poor Miss Mary, she said, I'll be dead by the time y'all get that. Unfortunately, she passed away, but we're still working on that, hopefully, and I'm hoping to see some progress on that street. I did get some feedback from Andrew the last time about some issues with our residents in the area, but but I'd like to get an update on that the next one.
Absolutely.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Lena, that's probably been 10 years now in the making, and we still haven't got it done yet.
I've been here 4.5 years.
It's amazing. And I made a statement too. I said, I wonder if I'm gonna live to see it. It's been 10 years.
Let's see if we can make it happen. Let's see what we can do. We need to go somewhere or call somebody or.
Yes, ma'am.
You're hired.
Really gonna.
No, ma'am.
I'm too shy for that, I can't do that.
She did great.
Why y'all laughing?
For once, I thought something was gonna be left for me to say, but then they got sniped at the end.
Oh, my bad.
But I also got the same feedback from multiple people that this was the best parade that they've seen in Troutman. So absolutely hats off. Sound to me like, Mr. Hinkle's ready to join some committees. That's what I heard with his. But yeah, and also welcome to all the new people. It's finally good to see.
Rose doesn't
Full
want me home.
tables.
Rose doesn't want me home all that much, so yeah, she'll.
So you'll be, yeah, we'll get you,
Get out and help
we'll get you
yourself.
back. We'll get you back. It's good to see full table. It's wonderful that we're finally filling these positions and we can get to business, so. Welcome, everybody. It's good to see that. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Oxford. So a couple of things to reiterate. Again, great job by the staff on the street lighting. I know Ms. Harris has already stated one and done, but that's not the case, so.
Correct.
I'm out of town December next year.
We're gonna figure that out.
All right.
We still
We'll
got
light it in
plenty of work.
November.
Yes, that's right. She does a great job. Again, just, want to ask, appreciate her stepping into that role. And I think people will enjoy it, so we can figure out where she's at.
That's right. Join us virtually.
Great job on the parade and keeping the weather, although it was cold, but it was rain-free. And again, great job by the staff for all the officers and everyone who chipped in and made sure that it was done on time. I think Chuck was gonna have a heart attack if we had to cancel it, but that didn't happen. And again, I guess his track record continues. I think, we clearly have an opportunity to look at, again, some committees, I think that were stated. We'll continue to, as I stated, pursue those and ensure that we're doing what we need to do to keep our town moving forward. Just wanted to mention, I understand the bistro is open, and a couple of people mentioned to me that the buildings that the town owns there look really good, and to have a business in there, I think is a real positive for the town, and continue our work to revitalize our downtown and make it look nice, and hopefully we'll continue on that track for sure. I do also want to say welcome to all those who are here. As I stated earlier, it's good to have new folks in the room, and backups, hopefully continue to move forward. And so really appreciate the opportunity to have new folks with new eyes looking at our town processes and procedures, and look forward to hearing from you all and what we can do better and as we grow our town moving forward. So thank you for that. I don't think I have anything else at this time, so I will now move into an overview of Thursday's meeting. So the first few items on our agenda are our normal call to order guests and visitors, as well as approval of the agenda. Our consent is pretty full list of items under consent. We've got 4 sets of minutes. We've got the 2026 town calendar of events. We've got the design review board case regarding the out parcels that are near the food line, with the staff report regarding those out parcels. We've got a contract between the town and Kimley Horn, creation of the comprehensive land use plan. And we've got a engineering services with Kimley Horn as well. agreement, regarding our phase one. We've got the, engineering firm that we're looking at, the, Eastern Transmission Project on phase one and the, preferred engineering as well. So I'll start with any questions regarding the facade under the consent items.
Mayor, I will say, for the 2026 events calendar that I've presented you, I want to make note for of several of the dates for the 5Ks. The chief and I have been in conversation. We do want to be conscious of, these dates are fluid for several of the 5Ks that we have on here. I've provided you with dates, but there's a potential that they may change. The chief and I have been in conversation that we want to be conscious of the number of times that we're interrupting and inconveniencing, maybe that's a better word, the residents on Eastway Drive. So we know that we've got 3 parades, our Christmas parade, our Independence Day parade, and the homecoming parade every year, same residents being affected. And then all of our 5Ks are coming down Eastway Drive, same residents. Seems to be the safest route that we can run. We also have auxiliary groups like Miles for Matt using that same route. So we're in discussion about how we can make some arrangements with some different routes and how we can figure out how we can maybe come out in the back of our park and go a different way, so we're not inconveniencing the same neighbors every time. So these dates, they may shift to a Saturday morning, 8 a.m., so maybe folks aren't out running around instead of a Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. So some of these 5K dates are fluid for right now. I've provided you with them, but they may change. And that's the reason why. So if they do change, you know why.
Okay, great.
So we're working on that.
Yeah, sorry to go back to that.
No, that's okay. I just wanted to let you know.
Yeah, I think that's a great conversation. I know we've talked a little bit about it in the past in terms of, you know, the imposition that it poses on some of these residents, but,
Yeah.
Again, if there's a way in the future to limit some of that, I think clearly makes sense, so appreciate this thinking about that.
Regarding the calendar of events, not just for Parks and Rec, but other events that the town has, request that be made available through our Office 365 software to where the council can subscribe to it and add it to their phone, so that we're not having to individually add each one of these events.
So you want us to add the events onto?
Like, maybe create a Parks and Rec calendar on
Okay.
through our Office 365 suite, so that we can just subscribe to Parks and Rec events, right?
Okay.
And,
They
So
would
I'm not having to
automatically-
email to remind
They
you.
would automatically
Yeah.
download to our phones.
Okay.
and in line with that calendar, maybe this should have been in my comments, but regarding like a boardroom calendar too, where we can see the occupancy of this boardroom as a council, and that everything, all the reservations be added into a specific boardroom calendar that's also available in the same software.
Okay. Justin, do you know how to sync? We'll get with
Yep.
Travis.
There is a counter for the culture
Yeah, but I don't know how to sync it to,
to there.
you know how to do
And
that?
again,
Yeah.
is the current calendar you have, do you have it electronic or
Uh-huh.
how is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How to sync it to your,
Yeah.
to all won't be on one.
Yeah.
We'll figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
So it's live too. So as we're adding things, it's downloaded and syncing to you all. We'll figure that
So I
out.
think
Okay.
each
Thank you.
council member can automatically just opt in to have those events on their calendar.
Okay.
And I know we're kind of learning how to use some of the Office 365 software, but it's kind of like, there's specific spots where you can make calendars that are available for certain, you know, subscription levels of different employees that can subscribe to it, or they're open to it, so that's all.
Okay, got it. And then
Good.
as other local events like a Rotary event or whatnot, we'll get those added on there as well in case you want to attend those.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll work on that. And as I have updates on these dates and as we get together on that, I'll keep you posted on that. But as of now, I just gave you the date that it would have landed on this calendar as
Perfect.
it's landed before. But we're figuring out how to make that work with routes and whatnot.
You know, one thing, you know, we said ever since we've had this new program added and went to Microsoft, we've not really had a meeting like Office 365. You know, Nick's very up on that type of thing, and he was showing some things to Justin Monday before he and I left, before Justin left. One day we have a little discussion in here, and he showed some things that didn't even know existed. And basically, of course, he had a resolved meeting with Travis on that. The rest of us are like, what? You know, I've never had any kind of a little, of course, I'm looking at you, but I'm talking to everybody.
Right.
Or the mayor and everybody. It would be good to have some sort of a little informal meeting, those who wish, on the council, to come in here and let Travis give on how to adequately use 365. You know, I've got it on my personal, and I still don't know how to use it all that well. But again, it's something that if it's there, we're paying for it. We also have at least a clue on how to use it to our advantage or to our own specific needs. Like, you know, the option if you want to download a calendar, okay. If you don't, okay. But at least the option is there and you know about it. And, you know, what you don't know, you don't know. And I would like to see, you know, it won't affect me, but the rest of you, perhaps to have some sort of a gathering and learn more about, you know, this new program that we've now had probably a year or more, that some of us still can't utilize, don't know enough to utilize it fully.
So, just maybe a takeaway is to maybe get with Travis at the next, agenda briefing, if folks wanna come in, a little early and sign up for kind of a crash course, if you will, on Office 365.
Sounds good.
Anything else, Emily, on the calendar?
No, sir.
Next item, again, is the design and review of the facade. Any questions or comments there?
But I'll simply say, you know, being the council liaison on that committee, that unanimously approved. They did look at this and make several suggestions and recommendations. So it was taken seriously, and I, you know, what I saw, I think they did a good job, and several people on that committee are very adept on construction, design, and so forth. So, you know, I personally would recommend that we, you know, consider this in the consent agenda, approved as a part of the consent agenda for that reason. But I think everyone who wants to take the time can see it's well done. The final product approved.
We've got these contracts, well, I'll start with the comprehensive land use plan. Any questions on that contract with Kidney Horn? Next item is the engineering services, again, Kidney Horn. Looks like they were the recommended partner with the integrated wastewater and water master plan. Any questions or comments there? And next would be the engineering for the eastern wastewater transmission project, as well as the engineering for ESCO phase 1 and 2. That takes us into old business. First item is consideration of the resolution accepting all the roads in phase 2, 3, and 4 at the Falls Cove. Taking on the maintenance of those roads. You know, Andrew was looking at those roads that came up last month just to ensure that all the manhole covers were properly seated. Comment?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that Andrew and I did go out and look at that, as well as James, the inspector from West Consultants, and we didn't witness anything out of the ordinary for the manholes on those streets.
The next item is the rezoning request for Rocky Creek, 19 acres on Byers Road. Again, coming back to council
just, this is just a down zoning, so without, on our end, it feels like a fairly simple case, but please feel free to ask questions and, voice your concerns to us. We can get you answers if there's concerns.
Questions on this particular topic last month? We need to make sure we hear before Thursday.
I mean, I still kind of feel the same way I did about it last meeting, where we don't have a updated land use plan, and not sure quite how this rezoning, or, because I'm not sure the original zoning was even within the land use plan that we had at the time. It was outside of the norm of that. So I would really, consider this to either wait for the land use plan or refer it to the land use committee.
And the only thing I would add is that if we're gonna postpone this, again, I don't know that, we can do it, before a land use plan is adopted. Again, I would ask maybe Jason if you might weigh in on that. I don't know if legally we can put off this until adopting a, land use plan.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, my only other concern, in addition to what Nicholas said, is I just hate to see wells and septic tanks go up within town limits. And I realize this is a situation that is allowed under current UDO, and if it comes down to, you gotta approve it because of that, and I'm gonna follow what the law prescribes I do. But, if I can prevent it, otherwise, we have a system out there that needs to be supported, and we're only talking 4 houses here, I realize that, but it sets a slight precedent that could be like a crack on a dam and get bigger and bigger over time, especially with the moratorium. And, again, our system needs to be supported, and for our environmental reasons, I just don't care to see septic tanks. Water system is one thing, but septic tanks, I just hate to see it within town limits.
Okay. Next item is new business. We'll consider the resolution adopting, or accepting Dollar Avenue, for maintenance. Anything there?
Where is Dollar Avenue?
It's right next to the new Zaxby's, and it
Okay.
continues all the way back to the Godly properties.
It's the only entrance outlet, I think, for that Dixie manufactured home sales, or some Dixie sales.
Yes.
Home sales of some sort.
Is
And-
that the one that's like right past the telephone pole there that keeps getting struck on the side of 21? It was struck and broke in half about a month and a half ago, and then it looks like it's been struck 2 more times. And now there's a sharp broken telephone pole right there at that little abutment heading right before Zaxby's.
I believe that is, I know there have been several trucks hit the telephone pole there.
I will just add that West Consultants has been out to inspect the new Dollar Avenue and has signed off on its inspection.
That Dollar Avenue, that street has nothing to do with those trees that are along that, because I was concerned about that when I was leaving out Zaxby. Yes, I ate a Zaxby. But when I was leaving out, looking left, where those trees, the same issue that we have with the other, so it wouldn't have anything to do with it, but something, that's a different conversation.
Yeah, but we've been in contact with them.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Somebody else mentioned it.
it's just, not a lot of feedback from them, but yeah, we have been in
Okay.
contact with them.
Thank you.
So next item is the, meeting of the ordinance on open burning. Anything, Chief Fox?
So this came up due to a recent fire that happened. This lane clearing fire got out of control, spread all over the property. So myself, Andrew, and the fire chief became a discussion due to the structure of our fire department. It's not part of the town, and so the police department looked at this. We recommended we try to do something different. Our previous ordinance was very strict. It was would be obtained from planning. People would say you're building development, they pay a $500 fee, get this filled out by the fire department, where the fire department recommends or does not recommend allowing the burning to take place, at which point it is recommended, the planning department would issue out a permit for that burning. It would allow the planning department to have some control of how much burning is taking place at once, so that if there's, multiple sites going on, we're not just covering the town in smoke. They could deny it for, those reasons, for health reasons. It also clears up, this provision, because under prior ordinance, people with fire pits, at their home were in violation of their, of the burning, regulation. So, this ordinance does clarify that those, specifies those, and what restrictions would be on those.
And my understanding is that it has a recommendation for or against from the fire department after their inspection.
Yes.
But the final say is planning and zoning administrator,
Yes.
manager.
Yeah, then the police department's purpose would just be, if somebody's in violation, enforce it without, the charge of violation.
Right, right. You can pull it, and they can't get to demand their money back or anything. It's just too bad.
Correct.
Sort of a consequence for not following the rules.
And said, fire that occurred, the developer agreed that they would not be burning anymore. They will be,
Until this was, placed into place and go through the process.
Okay, so that was my question. Will this only apply to new developments moving forward, or any that we've got going on?
Everything current. If anybody wishes to burn going forward, they will have to go through this process.
You also jog my memory. What happened Saturday night? Why was there smoke all down downtown Saturday night? Do you have any idea?
Really have no idea.
Okay. The alarming amount of smoke, 21. Hadn't even known that. Did smell like a house fire,
Okay.
but it was a wood fire. Does it know if it?
Yeah, it doesn't
it's
know.
related or?
Yeah. No, this was from a few weeks ago. It took place up near Children's Hope Line.
And mainly this applies to just large scale type burning, as we say.
Yeah.
This is not from somebody who wants to go burn their trash in the backyard, that is still.
No, it
I know.
specifically states that that is not.
Right, yeah, that's why I was bringing that up, so, it can be, the public can know.
And the reason we have to do this is, two, people can go online to the Forest Service website, the North Carolina Forest Service, and apply for a burning permit. It's an automated generated permit. But on there it says they have to comply with the local ordinance. Well, some people would say, well, we have a permit, well, they're not complying with the local ordinance that we have at the time. And I talked with the Forest Service and the county ranger, and the Forest Service actually has no jurisdiction within the municipality in North Carolina. So, everything falls on the town to control it, either through an ordinance enforced by the fire department or the police department with a permitted system.
all right, nothing else on that matter. We will move into, annexation request. Comments there?
This is just another one of those cases where a property owner wants to annex into the town to obtain water service. And the associated rezoning case would be bringing it from ICRA, Iredell County's main residential district, and bringing it to our RS district for half-acre lot minimums.
Any questions for Alex on that? All right.
Can I go back for a moment?
Yeah.
I have a question for the chief regarding the permitting process. So you, forgive me, I had to chew on it for a second. You mentioned that you can go online to the forestry department
Yes, currently.
and obtain a permit.
Yes.
Right, so if us going through and creating a permitting process here in town, how would that affect that system?
That permit would, basically, it doesn't apply for city limits.
So we're still gonna have that problem?
then they may be in violation. And part of it is because they've made it an automated system, and it's basically, on the restrictions, it's self-policing. It's just, the only thing is not generate a permit apparently when there's a burn ban, which burn bans don't matter if it's not based on fire weather, it's based on the resource allocations at the time. So if all the resources are in eastern North Carolina fighting a fire, they'll ban burning in western North Carolina.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I don't, we haven't ran into many of, I talked with, Chief Morris, they haven't ran into many situations. We've only had like one where they have this permit.
I think the majority of developments, they've done removal, they've not done burning in the town. So, whatever reason this one decided to burn, but they're not gonna do that. Going forward. Next item is the rezoning of property 407 State Park Road.
Yeah, so this is just the rezoning associated with the annexation of this property. I just want to know that there's going to be no change in the use or permitted without coming back for this rezoning. So there's no change in the use, it's going to stay single-family residential.
All right. Any questions there regarding this rezoning? Next item is a text amendment regarding the water and sewer under the UDO. Lexington.
Yeah, so this was an amendment at the direction of council to strengthen the sewer requirements of specifically section 7.6 of the UDO. It was brought to the planning board recently and was denied for concerns of undue financial burden on individual property owners and concerns that this would actually promote higher density and make it difficult for individual property owners to maintain larger lot sizes because of the cost of extending utility lines.
All right. Any questions for Lex on that? All right. Next item will be the consideration for an ordinance regarding municipal lot, parking lots.
So this would be an amendment to our code of ordinances at the direction of council as well, adding language, if signed, parking in town-owned lots will be restricted to normal business hours. And this would permit the towing of vehicles in town-owned lots after hours if particular lots or sections of lots are signed as such, which is a blanket for all town-owned lots.
Any questions?
I do have a question, normal business hours.
Yeah.
You know, for some stores it's 8 to 5, for others it could be 8 to 10 o'clock at night.
Maybe
So
they
what are
generally-
normal business hours? I mean, going into Statesville, they generally had the time spelled out there. I don't know what to do now, but, so you knew, if it's after 6 o'clock, you better not be in that parking lot. Down here, people could park in our lots and go several places that are open until perhaps midnight. And for others, after 5 or 6 o'clock, the doors are locked and closed for the day. So, that's my question there is, should that wording be normal business hours? What are normal?
Sure.
For people that are using that lot and the business that they're patronizing.
Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but my discussion with Andrew, I was at the understanding that the idea of normal business hours would be the business hours of the town, and we don't want people parking in our town lots when the town administrative offices aren't open. Is that, I don't know if that's a correct understanding of.
When you say business, town office, I mean, town offices.
That's correct.
Okay, but I'm thinking, you say town lots, we've got town lots, parking lots that are used for commercial. Not just here. Obviously here, it's one thing, but it may be even over there, on the other side of the street. But I was talking about downtown.
Sure.
That was my concern.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think I'd like to part of the conversation, because particularly in areas where we may own a facility, like the Life property,
Okay.
and
not
Okay.
so much the hours, but the lots. Because I just, scenario through my head, somebody drives into town, visits a local establishment, has a few drinks, decides to get a ride home, are we gonna tow their car
Mhm.
for making the right decision?
I would
I
prefer not to, I would
Yeah.
encourage them to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if I can't leave it in a town spot, where can I leave it?
Yeah.
So the
Yes.
next time I'm driving,
Absolutely,
right,
yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah, this may be one that we need to table, if council's in agreement.
Sure.
that I think that, but I was thinking the same thing Ms. Archer was thinking. We may need to further define
Mhm.
municipal lots,
Absolutely.
based on.
Used for public parking as opposed to town lot and a lot across the
Yeah.
street here.
Mr.
So
Fonda?
I haven't met with Andrew in person yet, but I'm gonna, say that there's a slight nuance in this ordinance that says if signed, parking in town-owned lots will be restricted to normal business hours. So my thought is his intent was if we put up signs that say you can't park during
That's
normal
what we
business
did there.
hours.
No parking.
So we don't put up a
That's
sign down here, but we put up a sign at the live
Yeah,
building.
that, we did talk about that. So
Okay.
That's why Mr. Longino.
Sorry, I just wasn't involved in that one, so I wasn't listening.
Me and
I didn't
Andrew
catch all of that.
actually answered
What was the catch again?
So it says if signed, parking in town-owned lots will be restricted to normal business hours. So
Yeah.
basically, we put a sign up that says no parking outside of normal business hours, where we don't want people parking outside.
Right, and that's what I was
That
thinking
time
here.
would be defined on the
Yeah,
sign.
you would have it, say here, town, just an example, town hall, layout property, or layout property, and across the street. Those three places I can think of.
Yes,
The
sir.
two downtown, the shelter, and then across the bistro would be obviously for public
Those
use, so
three.
we wouldn't have a sign there.
Yeah, correct.
Once we get those lights in the park, though, we may need to rescind that.
I was thinking, what about when we're having, things here, like, we're right now after normal
We're all,
business hours.
we're all gonna get
Yeah.
those.
And this is advertised as
Again,
Greenway parking.
Well, we,
That's where we need to think about the actual parking lot.
Because I don't think we have a,
Yeah.
just from what I've seen on the show and working that, we have a parking problem. I mean, you could, even like the light, we could post, with the ordinance, no parking.
No parking.
Right, I mean, only that way only town vehicles or some kind of civic is allowed.
well, across the street here, it was used for some people that were meeting, getting on a bus and going on a tour, leaving their cars there for several days. And that's what we've got to, if someone wants to park there and walk the walkway or go down and, be, whatever downtown, walk and then come back, late at night, that's fine. I got no problem, but it's just, we've got to do something to prevent people who are abusing, like anything else, once you abuse it, then you make it a problem for everybody, in the use of it.
So I think clearly it is, again, conversation around no parking
Mhm.
based on signage. So
Okay.
I think we need to think about that, so.
Okay, so we wanna, adjust the if signed language to be a bit more specific.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
absolutely.
Just to clear up, that parking behind planning and zoning was approved for the people, I think, from the Iredell Statesville
Right.
School to park there while they were on their retreat. So it was approved, Paul.
Yeah.
They just didn't dump their cars here, from what I was told. Am I
It was
correct?
approved for them to, as you say, dump the cars there?
No, it was approved for them to park on our property while they attended a conference. Am I correct, Ms.
Yeah,
Blair?
that's what I understood.
Okay.
But again, just to clarify the language, I think what we're asking is that the language reflect if there is signage,
If there's signage.
yeah, that
Absolutely.
there's no parking.
Well-
So we just need to clarify what the signage is as well. So,
Yeah.
so some of the signage may be no parking without town approval, or it's no parking, right?
Gotcha.
After hours or however you all think it needs to be worded. But
Great.
I think
it's
the,
gonna depend on where the parking lot is.
Yeah.
the point of the ordinance was so that we could put up signage to have restricted zones, right?
Right.
Not so much that, they're defined as every municipal lot for a specific time, but so that we could put signage anywhere the town owns property. And then enforce it as well. I think that was,
Yeah,
that came up as we talked about Leah, right?
Yeah, because currently, at the time, if they were parking there, we had no way to say,
Right.
to do anything about it.
Right.
Well, Mr. Mayor, too, that goes back to what I brought up a couple months ago at the Lyatt property, that anybody that parks there that's not authorized, that I think planning and zoning is trying to find out whether or not we could tow them.
Yeah.
So let's do it the right way. Let's put up signs then that says, if you are violating this, you will or can be towed.
Yeah, well, you could just design the no parking or whatever, towing enforced.
Yes.
Sort of thing, yeah.
Because if there's an event at the fairgrounds, and we say we don't want people parking there, then we're gonna tow.
Well, I think the main point here is one size doesn't fit all, so.
Yeah.
Further
Yes,
discussion.
that would be great for specific places like that, you know, whereas the town hall, you know, yeah, right.
Public parking.
Very good police presence here.
Yeah, every now and then.
There's cameras here, we encourage people sometimes to come here, do exchanges with children and stuff like that, so we don't kind of limit too much of that, but. Alexa, do you feel like this is an area where you want to wait for Andrew to come back and then work through it, or
If
something?
we want to define more than one type of signage, then I would say yes. But if we're interested in just kind of having a sign that says no parking, towing enforced, then we can work that into the language.
I like that.
For Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah, it just depends on if you guys wanna make it more complex than that, then we'd wait for Andrew, of course.
I like it less complex, but we want to hear from
Yeah.
council.
Well, it's gonna have to be site, parking lot specific.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
Basically, the sign's gonna have to get this particular parking lot and its uses. Like
Absolutely.
here's one thing, downtown's another,
Yes.
cross street may be another, you know,
Absolutely.
that's why, as opposed to just normal business hours.
Yeah, I can prepare that language and we'll have Andrew even look at it, you know, obviously before Thursday, and then, we'll present it, and if you guys wanna table, of
Okay.
course.
All right, we'll work that in. All right, next item is the consideration of the Shin Creek Sewer Pump Station Project Fund. Funding on that. And then we'll have to refer to the agreement, that's in there regarding the sewer pump station that we discussed, in the, wastewater, sewer committee. Any questions on that agreement? Not, we'll move into recognitions and presentations. We have a couple of outgoing council member recommendations, recognitions. We've got, organizational business. We'll do the oaths of office for incoming council members. We'll do the oaths of office for staff members. And we'll select a mayor pro tem. I'll ask council to, have conversations, and incoming council to have conversations. So we'll be prepared to move forward there. We've got the, town council, 2026 meeting schedule. And that takes us to a couple of committees that, are outside committees that we always appoint folks to. So I need folks to think about your participation in the Central Line Council of Governments, the CTRPO, that's the Charlotte Regional Transportation Planning Organization, which we're part of, in this region, as well as the Lake Norman Regional Transportation Commission. So those three, we've got those delegates, and an alternate from COG. We've got an alternate, myself, I usually, have always served on the CRTPO, and a delegate and an alternate for the Lake Norman Transportation.
I would also ask that we add the appointment to a member to the wastewater committee, because we'll be losing one of our members.
That doesn't necessarily need an appointment.
Okay,
I mean, a vote.
Yeah.
That's just by appointment.
okay.
So we'll bring that up. Any other comments Yes.
And Isabella and Tanya, want it simple. They want to say, I feel. You
Sure.
repeat it or I will?
I will, it's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll handle that. Well, usually we make you read something that's usually about a page and a half, but we'll scale that down for you all.
And it's in super fine print.
You want, I will? Either
I'll
you
wear
want-
my glasses.
You want, I will,
I
or you
will
want?
leave George and Tanya's to a page and a half. And, so I'll make sure you all in a good place. If that works. Okay. All right, anything else?
Real quick, there's, I believe headshots are lined up for tomorrow from 5 PM to 7
Yes.
PM. So if you want to keep your current one, they can keep their current one, or
She'd like a refresher. And
a
then,
refresh.
yeah, and then new council
So, yeah,
tomorrow night.
Yeah.
all the new people, but yeah, if you'd like a refresh, you can.
Reason to go get all
The
dressy
refresh
up.
means that they can just touch it up.
Yeah, we use AI.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joyce, what was, you have to mark, what is it again?
It's
What?
headshots for all the new people.
Oh, I see.
Yes, sir.
Or you can get your last picture taken.
Yeah.
Just take my last one, use AI.
Okay.
I didn't like it.
Well, look after your sad.
You look through.
Okay. Is there a motion to go into closed session pursuant to General Statute 143, 118, 1187?
Make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Is there a second? Second. Motion is made, received, second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. In opposition? Hearing none, passes. Who do we need in the room?
Manager, clerk, and attorney. Oh, well, other than the council.
I was trying to get out of here.
Who do we need in the